Um, Arriving, if you are live, it is October the 21st, friends. What, as you get cozy, just a quick little shout out for anyone that wants a little extra. If you have a towel or blanket that you can fold into a rectangular shape, I just so happen to have a cute little throw pillow that is that shape. But if you have a towel or a blanket and you take it back behind you, right back behind the ribs, so that when you lay down, there is an openness in the chest and the shoulders that just feels divine, it will naturally allow those upper traps to chill out, to actually shorten, because when we round forward, they actually overstretch. And so doing the reverse position is really helpful. Um, the only caveat I will say is that if you are choosing this option to put something behind your ribs, is that sometimes the body all of a sudden is like, that's enough. So if you hit your just and like, that's enough, just roll to your side, take the prop out, and like magic, when you go back onto your back, all of a sudden it's going to feel so much more spacious. Yeah. Um, but that's the only little caveat. But if you want to be seated, or if you want to get back in bed, or whatever it is that you want, um, get there, cozy up, allow yourself to make those micro shifts or bigger shifts. Say macro shift? Say macro shift. Wow, never said that before. And no matter how you are, I want you just to notice your relationship with gravity this morning, especially in regards to the position that you have chosen. And there's nothing to fix in this moment. There's actually also nowhere to go in this moment. You're just being, part of the beauty of rise and shine. And within kind of the letting go of needing to do anything, where might you allow gravity to turn up its volume? Or if we look at that question a different way, is there anywhere in your body that might be holding you, trying to help you, where all you need to do is actually just let go? And maybe with this notion, with gravity, maybe there is a release of the jaw. That is a surrender the bottom jaw into gravity. Maybe the shoulders or the shoulder blades can feel a little bit more into gravity. And sometimes when we slow down, we're like, yes, this is the best thing ever. And sometimes when we slow down, the brain is like, dude, we have things to do. Let's get it going, right? Sometimes it's in between. So at any time, whether it's today or another day, if you notice that your thoughts are racing a little bit, just reminding yourself that you are here and you are allowed to slow down. And a little love reminder that our culture in particular is really keen on this notion of go and do and hustle and more. And so when we slow down, it can actually feel a little counterculture, right? Kind of feels like we're being the salmon going up the stream, but it would be the reverse. All the salmons would be going upstream, working hard, and you're just flowing down. You're just like, I'm just releasing, but acknowledging that there is an energy in this culture, in this world. So allowing yourself to slow down, allowing yourself to be counterculture. And then the other thing that I'll say sometimes about slowing down is that when we allow ourselves to slow down, sometimes we feel more, right? The things that we've kind of been putting aside or putting in the back of our heart have space to actually show up a little bit more. So slowing down is not just like, here I am, permission to slow down. It's also, can I practice offering myself love and compassion for what is happening within my body and my mind and my heart? And the word practice is very intentional because for the rest of our lives, we get to put this into practice. And I love myself when I slow down. And I love myself when I feel tender. And I offer a deeper sense of compassion when I'm going through something challenging. Can I offer myself more compassion when I'm riding the waves of ease as well? So take a breath here. And as we continue to breathe, just noticing that at the very top of the breath, there's a gentle pause before the breath turns around into the exhale. And similarly, when you get to the bottom of the exhale, there's a very slight little pause before that new breath comes in. And depending on how you are feeling this morning, just breathing, just as you are, might be the exact thing that your body is in need of. If offering a pause in a slightly exaggerated way at the top and or the bottom feels good, then I invite you to add a little pause. And sometimes when I do this practice on my own, I just want to pause at the top, but not at the bottom. And sometimes I want to pause in both. So just that reminder that you are putting into practice, noticing what actually feels the best to me today in this moment. A full breath, a full breath with one or two pauses. And just take a few rounds and imagine that with each breath, you are just clearing space inside of you so that you can allow that cloudiness to dissipate and stand instead in clarity. Clearing out space inside of you. And go ahead and follow those next 3 breaths as mindfully as possible. Beautiful. And when that 3rd breath is complete, just allow the breath to return to its regular breath, which is always happening. And as you know, this month of October, we've been focused on really reminding ourselves to ground and to be cozy. So take a moment right here and bring awareness to the weight of your legs, the density of your lower body. Notice the texture of clothing or ground or blanket or whatever is touching your legs. And then also notice there's a very subtle pulse in your fingertip. And in our fun little thing called imagination, we're going to imagine ourselves sitting under a strong tree. The roots run deep into the earth. The branches are open. Maybe there's some really fall colored leaves like there are in Eugene, Oregon, with reds and oranges and yellows and the colors of a sunset or a sunrise in full glory on the trees. And imagining that the air is soft and the light is warm. And let yourself belong here. You are both the tree and the earth beneath it. Stable, nurtured, enough. And either quietly or aloud, reminding yourself with these little love reminders, I can rest inside myself. I am safe to be here. My presence is enough. And let these little love reminders soak in, almost like it's sunlight soaking into your skin. And a breath. And then bringing all of your awareness right to your heart center. Maybe even feeling the light pulsing of the heart. Every heartbeat reminding you that you are alive. And within your heart, the glow of kindness. With a little PS that you do not need to earn kindness for yourself. It is already yours. This love, this compassion, this kindness that we're talking about. You do not need to earn it. It is already yours. May I feel grounded today. May I give myself grace when I stumble or need to pivot. May I move through this day with ease. May I trust that rest is productive. May I remember that I am loved. And again, feeling into this little sunlight energy with this tree next to you, with this earth beneath you. You might even imagine, when sunlight hits a leaf and it kind of makes the leaf transparent or translucent or whatever that is, where you can see little details of the leaf. Allowing that to be true for you too. Feeling into your transparency, translucent, whatever the word is, you know what I'm talking about. And feeling into the steadiness around and within you. Feeling into the warmth around and within you. And taking your biggest, fullest breath of the day so far. And whether you are lying under the tree or sitting under the tree, you can actually stay in the position that you are for this first part. If you have been crisscrossed, though, maybe that little switch of leg. And we'll all go ahead and lightly take the head over the right shoulder and use that right hand just to start to give some little gentle squeezes to that upper right trap. If you're seated, your shoulders can relax. If you're lying down, your shoulder blades back behind you can relax. And you're just starting with a light little squeeze and release here. And if you're like, ooh, this is very tender, you're going to probably stay with this kind of lighter squeeze and release. If it feels okay to do a bigger squeeze and hold, what happens if you do that one is that you lightly slow down the blood flow. But when you release, the blood flow is like, wee. And that can be really helpful when there's tight energy within muscles. And then we'll give a little brush down the trap, a brush down the shoulder, a brush down the back of the arm that oftentimes sees the sun. And then we'll go up the hand and we'll travel up the inner part of the arm that doesn't usually see the sun and get into that armpit and also get into the side ribs. And then we'll simply take the gaze over the left shoulder and start to squeeze the right upper trap. And again, we'll start with those little smaller squeezes and releases. And notice how this side feels. And if it feels good, just to have that smaller, lighter touch, awesome. If you want those bigger, deeper squeezes and releases, that's up to you and your trap. That's a conversation between you and your trap. Good. Check in with your jaw. And no rush at all. But when you're feeling balanced, we'll brush down at the upper trap. We'll brush down the shoulder. And again, we'll go for all the parts of your arm that get touched, get kissed by the sun. And then we'll work our way up the inside, all the way into the armpit and all the way into that side body. Nice. Beautiful. Crisscross friends, feel free to give yourself a little swap there. Nice. And friends are on the floor. We're going to slowly, gently bring you onto a side and then to a seat. For friends that are already seated, we're going to start our little gentle back and forth. And we're going to slow down as the elbow comes up to the sky. We're going to feel that stretch mostly through the side body, but also recognizing like so much is opening within the armpit, the shoulder. Keep the heart nice and open. And then if it feels okay to add a full reach, maybe a wrist roll, feel free to add that on. Nice. Glorious. Ooh, yes. KZ just did like the biggest stretch and hold. Yeah, which you're welcome to linger in any areas that feel especially delightful. And we'll take one more side to side. Good. And we'll find our way back to center. Go ahead and give yourself a few little shoulder rolls. Ah, good. And we'll go ahead, just kind of notice how things are feeling. Take one arm up for your little rock climber hold. And we're going to use the bottom hand to press up. And what most likely happened, which also happens to me, is the shoulders are like, I got it. Right? So the arm that's pushing, we're going to be like, dude, you got this. You don't need to use the shoulder. So drop that. Whoa, right? Drop that one down. And then this one's going to try to do the work by itself, but we're going to say, hey, we got you down here. So I'm going to drop the shoulder and use the bottom hand. The only thing that's working is that bottom hand pressing up. And you might be in a really good place with where your head is. Oh, yes, that yawn was so delicious, Ruthie G. But you might consider looking around a little bit. And it's not a stretch, but sometimes when you look a certain direction, you're just like, oh, like I just want to chill here. Like it just feels relaxing. And then just double check that your shoulders are relaxed and the bottom arm is pushing that shoulder up towards the ear. Take one more huge breath. And then of the slowest motions, sloth like, we're going to release that one on down. Nice. And just kind of notice. And this principle of going in towards the thing and actually exaggerating it and then releasing is within the school of orthobionomy. You're welcome. That was actually the first massage class I ever took with my mom. I don't remember if I was in junior high or high school. It went like this. I did not understand a thing at the time. Let's push on up. And then again, voila, the shoulders are doing all the work, which they oftentimes do. So drop that shoulder down, use the bottom hand to push, drop that shoulder down. And then if you want to find a slightly different position, or if you're already good, that's cool too. But this notion, it's kind of a cool run, right? Where you're like, you go in towards what's already tight, you exaggerate what is true, and then you find the release. Good. Bottom arm is still pushing. Take one more big breath, and then slow motion release. Low, 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 low. Like you're in an old school action before they had all the special effects, and slowing down was like one of the things that they could do. Nice. Yeah. Give yourself a few little rolls. Notice how you feel. And we're going to do one more double whammy. So we're going to use the bottom elbows. Now, you've already told your shoulders that they don't need to work. So let's see what happens. We're going to push pop, a double push pop. We're going to just be, oh, yeah, no, they're working. So drop those shoulders. I know, but use your bottom hand to press. And then maybe the head wants to slightly move around. And again, we're not looking for a stretch. We're like, where does my body just want to go? Oh, it just take a quick little napsy toe here. Keep pushing up with the bottom hands. Take one more huge inhale and then slow motion. Nice. From here, let's give ourselves a little shake out. I'm going to come to standing. My body's just kind of like, okay, let's get moving a little bit. If you're happy on the ground, you don't have to get up. You really and truly can stay. I'll make it work for either one. But if you want to stand up, find your way on up. And yes, I do have new sweatpants. My mom and I went to Old Navy. They have some fun colors. They're on sale for like $16, friends, just FYI. Ooh, yes. Those of you that are seated, you're going to stay in place with your little forwards and backs. And those of you that are standing up, I'm going to remind you to move around. I'm going to remind you, not just in this moment, but especially if you are on the computer for many hours of the day, it is absolutely essential to get up, move around, move the blood, move the bones, move the muscles, move the eyeballs, right? Nice. And then we'll go ahead and find our way back to each other if you were walking around your space. Nice. And we'll go ahead and do a shoulder or a shoulder and an elbow. And depending on how this feels, that might be enough. Some of you might be interested in a shoulder, an elbow, and a fingertip. But if you do it and you're like, oh, that's actually a little sticky, just stay with what feels good. Yeah, nice. And take one more round. And then if you're on the floor, you'll just take a little hand back. You could, depending on how it felt, you could do layers and levels. For those of us that are standing, we're going to go and take a big circle. If you have a wall, place your palm on it and go away from that. The dangling arm can give that little massage to the connection between shoulder and chest. Go ahead, get a little taller through the crown of the head. And a little love reminder that when we open up through the front body, the back body naturally gets to relax. So again, in that rounded forward position, the upper traps overstretch, the pectoralis, which you're massaging right now, understretches. And actually over time, it does start to atrophy a little bit, which I know is a scary word, but it is actually true. Go ahead and release. Our body responds to anything that we do, especially repetitiously over time. Go ahead and find that second arm. So when we counter the rounding forward with the lengthening of this, it is to our benefit in big ways. Yeah. Ah. Get a little taller through the spine. Good. And take another little rub or two as you're feeling balanced. We'll go ahead and release. And we'll go ahead and take those arms up with a little hold to the opposite elbow. Shoulders can drop down, ribs can soften. We're going to lightly pull the elbows towards the sky and then pull your chin back just a little bit. And you're either going to stay there or you're going to start a little gentle side to side. Good. And use your breath with it. And if you're loving the side to side or the hold in the center, awesome. Otherwise, you're going to take that little baby circle in the front plane, reversing each time. Oh, yeah. If you're circling, go ahead and balance out your sides. Big breath. If you've been crisscross, go ahead and swap your legs. And then we'll release those arms on down. If you're on the floor, you can interlace or take the arms back behind you. Shoulders back and down, a little pull downward. And again, opening through this front body to relax the back body. Nice. And you might want to stay there. It might feel good to take some yeses. It might also feel kind of nice to take a full circle, but only do that one if the neck is in agreement. Good. And if you are moving your head, awesome. Balance yourself on up and then go ahead and lift on up. Now, if you're in a standing position, you're welcome to soften the knees and take a little forward fold. Head is heavy if you like it. Shoulder blades squeeze for everybody. Arms lift a little higher for everybody. If you're over, maybe even give your head a little shake, yes and no. Maybe some raspberry lip. Yeah. And if you're upside down, just notice one thing upside down for your little switched perspective. Take another big inhale and exhale. Let's roll you back on up to the top. Good. Give yourself a few more little roll on outs. Take another set of your little opens and closes. If you're standing, walk around a little bit. And emphasize when you go back, emphasize the squeeze of the shoulder blades. Yeah. Good. Beautiful. And no rush. We'll go ahead and meet back in center if you've been walking. And we'll go ahead and take this into our breath. Inhale, float the wrist up. Exhale like you're fogging a mirror. Back of the wrist pulls down. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And if you're standing, we're going to pick up the pace and have a little bit more of a whoosh. But big breath and potentially some sound effects as well. There it is. I see it. Good for 5, 4, 3. Good. 2 and 1. Good. Land your hands over heart. Feel that breath and heartbeat. You're standing, possibility of adding a gentle little sway. And taking one more big breath here, and then we'll take our hands, palms pressed in namaste, soften or close the eyes. Taking a moment to imagine that tree once again. Energy of stability deep into the earth with the roots, with the rain that nourishes the roots, the soil that nourishes the roots. Energy of that gentle breeze and sunlight in the branches. Stability and flow, all within you as well. Take another big breath here. And as always, our continued practice in the rest of our lives outside of Rise and Shine. Sending you off, as always, with so much love and gratitude. Namaste.